All right, welcome back to the Mastering Rod Building podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Bill Faulkner, and I'm here to talk about one of my favorite things every year, and that is the undisputed, undefeated, unquestionable number one World Series Super Bowl of rod building, the International Custom Rod Building Exposition, every year in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And as we sit here, it's early November, and I'm delighted to welcome the host of the show, the editor of Rod Maker Magazine, and the man behind TKR Custom Rods, Tom Kirkman. Tom, welcome. It's November. We got this thing coming up in February, and I'm already so excited I almost can't sleep.
Great. I'm
So,
almost I'm almost as excited. I'm on the work end, so it's a little different for me, but
yeah, I was
I'm
gonna say,
excited.
and you've been to more of these than I have. So,
Yeah.
and like you said, you're doing all the heavy lifting. So, there's a other side of the coin. But if you're a rod builder, so if you've never been to the show, I don't know what I can say to you other than I've literally never spoken to anybody. There are people who come from internationally to come to the show, and it's just absolutely going to be awesome. So let's talk about. So first of all, it takes place in November. It's the I'm sorry,
Uh,
it's November. Listen to me. It's February 22nd and 23rd, 2025. In Winston-Salem. And again, it's at the lovely MC Benton Convention Center. If you guys have been there, you know how convenient it is. There's multiple hotels. We've had rain. Sometimes you hardly even get wet walking from a hotel if it's raining. There's so many hotels close. Location is great. But Tom, my understanding is we've sort of upgraded our room location this year for the first time.
well, in some ways, yeah, we've moved it. Now we only moved it, you know, 20
One
yards,
room over. Right,
one
exactly.
room over. What I like about it, there's two things that I think will add greater value to the show. First of all, the seminar rooms. We've
Yeah,
always done seminar rooms in a draped area, and that's fine. But you get a lot of sound that
right,
migrates in from the show floor. And if you're
right,
running speakers in the seminar room, you get this sound coming back out on the exhibit hall.
right.
And one year when they were doing renovations in that North Hall, we were in a hall upstairs and we had hardwall seminar rooms. And it was so wonderful because they were perfectly quiet. There was
Right.
no noise. You
Night
almost
and
didn't
day.
need the AV system. They were
Yeah,
so quiet and it worked
right,
so well. And I wanted to get back to that.
right.
And so we had a room come available. It's roughly the same size,
Yeah,
but we can have a hardwall seminar room, which I think will be a lot better. It gives us a chance to set it up several days in advance and make sure that we've got everything exactly the way we want it. The other
yeah,
thing seems like a small thing, but it's a convenience factor, is that the concession area at the Benton Convention Center was not in our exhibit hall. You had to leave
right,
the exhibit hall, walk about 30, 40 yards up an incline to get to the concessions. Well, that
right.
concession area has an opening on the back side that opens into the room
This
that
hall.
we'll be in this year.
Yeah,
So if you need to get
yeah.
a Coke, you want to get a delicious convention center hot dog.
Hey
Um,
man, don't be
just
down on those hot dogs.
I know, I
They've
know.
saved me more than once. They'll
You
keep
do a
bodies
lot of
built again.
shows, you get used to them. But yeah, I mean, all you have to do is just walk across the hall, and it's right there. You never
Right.
have to leave the room. So I'm excited about the room. I think it's going to be better for a
Yeah.
number of reasons and more convenient for the people.
Well, you showed it to me last year, and I'm really excited as an exhibitor and as a participant because I agree. I think it's going to be a game changer. I don't hear that well personally. Out of one ear, I'm almost deaf, and so like those seminars get so standing room only, and then you got such a robust crowd going through the hall that it can
Yeah,
be hard to
yeah,
hear sometimes if
yeah.
you're
That's
not
exactly
close.
right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, having the seminars in the room are going to be great. It's going to be less distracting for the presenters and all that. You also have like, and this is only as of the first week in November, but man, and for people who don't know, a lot of exhibitors will wait and see on their schedule, on their budget, on whether they're going to come, whatever. But as of now, like all around fishing, anglers resources, autism anglers, Back Creek Custom Rods, Batson, Cork for Us, CTS coming again from New
Mhm.
Zealand, Custom Fish Grips, Decal Connection. They're a regular Duck and Chuck and Debbie. Stop by and get a Krispy Kreme and a cup of coffee. Decorative Studio, EP's Rod and Reel, HFF Custom Rods, HM Custom Threads, M5 Outdoors, Sammy Mickles Custom, Rod Maker Magazine, Rod Forge, Trondike U40, another new one, the Old English Fly Shop, a guy I've been buying from for a long time. So unbelievable lineup, and it's only the first week in November,
Oh yeah,
so
we've got,
I'm
I think
excited.
we got between 20 and 25 exhibitors right now. We're still 3.5 months out. We'll end up with, we typically get anywhere from 35 to 50. It just depends. We'll get
Yeah,
40, 45 before it's over with. We
yeah.
always do. I mean, a lot of these companies, when I send out contracts in June, they sign up right away.
I sign it the day I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they
So
know that it's going to be a good event. I mean, this will be the 22nd or 23rd year. We've never had a bad event. They've always been well
right,
attended. Everybody
right.
makes money. Everybody has fun. Everybody learns.
Yeah.
And just to, I'm going to get off on a little bit of a tangent, but I think that's what this whole thing is about. When you look at past rod building events, whether it was rod crafters or some of the other events put on by different rod building component suppliers, there was a real need for that. If you go back to the
Right.
70s, 80s, early 90s, it was one of the best ways to share information because most rod builders really worked in anonymity. You didn't, if
Sure.
there was another rod builder in your town, you probably didn't know him unless
Right.
you ran into him some oddball way at the lake or something like that, or heard about him through a fellow customer. But
Right.
it was really the only way to share information. And what you
Right.
have today with YouTube and everything on Facebook and social media. There's videos. There's so much. The access to information has really changed. Some of it's better than others, but the bottom line is if you want to learn to build a rod, you don't really have to go anywhere anymore. You can
Right.
do it sitting in front of your computer.
Right.
The one thing you can't do, you couldn't do it then, you can't do it now. If you want to go handle components, if you want to pick up a blank and feel it, rather than just trying to figure out from the catalog specs, what's this going to be like? If you want to fit components together, talk to somebody at one of the dealerships that says, can you set me
Match
up? What I
colors
got
of
here?
your grips. Yeah. Like
Right.
anything. Right. Yeah.
The only place you can do it is the International Custom Rod Fitting Exposition.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
I'd
and
even
and, I,
go a
and
step further. The equipment, like, and I'm sure you're the same way. I can't even tell you how many questions I get a year via text, via email, via Facebook Messenger, like, hey, I'm getting ready to finally buy a power wrapper or lathe.
Mhm.
What do I want to, and it's and look, I have my opinions, but it's personal, right? And so until you try it, it's like test driving a car or sea trial on a boat. You just don't know until you go sometimes. There is nowhere else you can sit down and literally, I'm telling you, every machine will be there. The Alps machines will be there, the CRB and Pro machines will be there, Renzetti's will be there, Flex Cut machines will be there. Like you can literally sit down and I keep harping on this point because it's like, man, I would have saved a lot of money back in the day if I could
Yeah.
have sat down and tried them all. Because I believe I would have ended up at the same machine I ended up at, but I had to cycle through some other machines before I got there. So all that is to say, it really is a great opportunity. And the other thing that to me is very unique about this show, and I'll sort of give you my 2 cents and let you react. Um, like we go to ICAST, we go to PCS, Pacific Coast Sport Fishing, we go to a Big Rock Distribution Show, we'll go to the Sport Fishing Show in Edison, New Jersey. Like we'll go to all these shows. Usually, what you're doing is talking to reps, right? You're
That's right.
talking to
That's right.
salespeople. When you go, if you come to this thing, go to the Batson booth. Bill Batson is going to be there. You can talk to him, and he will talk to you. You know, Roger Cedars was there from Flexcoat last year. You're talking to the actual people. Stephen
Right.
Galen Pratt from CTS. You want to talk about blank design or tweaking a model or the process for ordering a custom blank for CTS? You're not talking to some anonymous customer service person or some sales rep who hasn't been. You're talking to the person who runs the company, and that's to me that's a pretty unique opportunity. And there's a lot of value both ways. It's good for you as the the manufacturer or the supplier to get to hear voice of
That's
customer
right.
first
Yeah.
person, and for the customer to actually get to talk to the real people who do the work and do the design and say, well, we tried that and here's why we went away from it, or here's the problem with that, or here's what you might consider. It's just it's so great. And then when else can you be? You and I have talked about this before, and I'm still looking for a good way to like capture it and quantify it. But so much of the most valuable interaction that happens is very informal, right? It's just like this person's Mark Krause is sitting at a table eating a convention center hot dog, and someone can sit down and talk to him about something, right? Mary Christie is just standing in her booth when she's not presenting, and you can say, "Man, I'm having trouble with the layout on this wrap." And these little informal kind of organic conversations spring up, and they can be tremendously valuable. right? And it's just such a cool environment because these are everybody's a rod builder and everybody who matters, in my opinion, in the kind of the component and manufacturing and distribution space is there, and it's all in one place. It's just
Yeah. And to your
unparalleled.
point, and I'll make this very concise, everybody tries to be helpful. If you talk to company reps, they're doing the best they can. They don't know
Right,
everything about the product. They may rep
right,
or sell a number of different manufacturers' products. They can't know it all.
right,
So somebody, and we'll make it specific to rod building, if you want a definitive answer on a blank, on a reel seat, on how to assemble something, on how best to use this wrapping machine, you can get a definitive answer at the expo. You don't have to go
right,
through a rep that says, well, what we're hearing is, or what we like to do. You go to the man that designed it and built it. You're
right,
talking to the people that design and make the blanks, the
right,
engineers that do
right,
this. You're talking to the
right,
company owners. You
right.
can't go any further than that.
No,
They're
you
the
can't.
ones that will have the definitive answer for you.
Right,
You just can't do that anywhere else.
right. So, I mean, yeah, I totally agree. Another huge draw to this show is the seminars. So, like last year was a who's who of the all stars of the greatest hits topics, right? Very successful. I know you haven't released the expo seminar list yet for this year, but
I'm close.
how's that looking? You feeling
Oh,
good about it?
it's looking great, and we're going to have a lot of the same seminar presenters we had last year and some new ones. The thing I like to do with the seminars, if you have a seminar that draws really, really well, for
Yep.
instance, Ernie's done a couple for us on setting up guides, different
It's
modern
standing
guide
room
types.
only. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
we always put 125 chairs in the room, and I think we drug in another 20, so we had 145,
Perfect.
150, and we're still standing room.
Right.
Um, a seminar like that, when it draws that well, you like to repeat them because
Yeah.
you know every year some people have come year after year after year, but every year we get hundreds and hundreds of new people never been before. So you don't want to completely revamp the entire seminar lineup from year to year. I keep
Right.
about half from the year prior, the ones that drew the best, and then we
Hmm.
look for new topics for the people that have
Trends.
been
Yeah.
there year after
Right.
year to keep them interested. Just as an
Keep it
example, I
fresh.
was talking with Mary Christie the other day, and I said, "Well, what do you think? What would you like to do? What are you getting questions about?"
Yep.
And she came up with a couple of topics on coloring grips and
Yep.
different aspects with decorative wraps that we haven't done before. And I said, okay, go with it.
Yep.
And no doubt they'll be very well attended. And I'm still talking to Mark Krause, Nuno Polino may be able to make it back this year, and he always has great ideas for
Oh
seminars.
man, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. If he comes back, I want to interview him for the podcast while I've got him
Oh
in
yeah,
person.
definitely.
I was worried he wasn't going to be able to make it this year. And if you've never seen his work, and you and I've talked about this, like people personalize rods for an individual angler. This guy goes like
Yeah, this
beyond. He's
this is
almost
the
like a
definition of
biographer.
custom. Yeah.
Right, exactly. No, that's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then we also have, I mean, there's so much going on at the expo. In addition to that, we of course are we going to have the Rod Maker subscriber reception again this year?
Yes, we will, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that because it happens Saturday night. I think for many of us, it's the highlight of of the whole thing. Not just because of how fun it is, but man, you give away a ton of stuff
Oh yeah.
at this reception. Let's talk about the
Okay,
reception.
well,
So,
I'll tell you how it works. The expo itself, of course, is open to the public. You don't have to be a member of anything. You don't have to be a subscriber. But
right.
in terms of adding a little extra value for the people that do subscribe to Rod Maker Magazine, I started the reception. Oh, I guess it was the last year we were in Charlotte. So that would have been the
Hmm.
second year. So this will
Hmm.
be about, I guess, 22 consecutive years we've done it. Last year we
Right.
had 551 people in the room. We know that because we counted them.
Right.
And if you're a subscriber, there will be tickets in the magazine, the first issue you get in 2025,
Yep.
and you can bring yourself and a guest. It's free.
Mhm.
You don't have to buy anything. You walk in. Um, it's come to be known over the years as a banquet, and that it's not really a banquet, but we've got some food there for you, finger foods, and we've got drinks, and there's
You got a
alcohol. There's a
bar, cash
bar.
bar. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And everybody just throws their tickets, in a hat. And
Right.
well, we don't make a lot of speeches. This is more of just a
Right.
really informal event. Get up, mingle with people, talk to them. And then we make a couple of small presentations here or there that some of the vendors may want to do. And then we just get right into it. And
Yeah.
we just start giving things away. We typically give away about 100 door prizes. And again, you don't have to buy tickets. You don't have to buy, this is not a raffle. We just give this stuff away. And the vendors typically are so generous.
It's
We give
unbelievable.
away,
You were giving
oh,
stuff away as fast as you could for like an hour last year,
yeah,
and
yeah. I mean,
the
this is,
big prizes, like we're talking about like rod lathes. We're not
yeah,
talking about like
Rossetti lathe, the batching
spool of thread,
machine.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we always have,
unbelievable.
we giving away flex coat machines,
Yeah,
the rod blanks. These are
oh,
not the
tons. Yeah,
stuff that somebody, blims they couldn't sell. This is their first quality. This is their brand new
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Real
we were
stickers.
giving away point blanks. We'll be doing
Oh
it
yeah.
again this year, right? We'll be giving away new products, new TCH, like everybody does. There'll be it's just to me it's the greatest value, and it always cracks me up because there's always somebody like, well, can I buy a ticket? Can I get in? It's like, yeah, your ticket is a subscription to the
Yeah, I just
magazine, and
bought
by
the
the way,
magazine.
it's not you pay more than the cost to subscribe to the magazine just to get into an event like this if we charge you at
Yeah,
the door.
well,
So like
it's funny.
it's just but
I get emails and phone calls. People say, "Well, I don't want to subscribe to the magazine. I just want to go to the expo." I said, "Well,
right,
or I want to go to the reception." I say, "Well, I'll tell you
right.
what. I'll sell you a ticket at the reception. It costs you $29.95." And they'll say,
And it
"Well,
will include a subscription to
and
the
a free
magazine.
subscription to the magazine." Yeah, we can do it either way you want to do it. But no, it's really a special value for people who
Yeah,
do subscribe to the magazine because they're already taken the magazine. They've already paid for it.
right.
And I think it really helps this event over and above any other rod building event because we know that probably a quarter of the people there are magazine subscribers.
Right.
And
Oh, I think
they
more
get to
than
kill
that,
two
don't
birds
you
with
think?
one stone. If you're
Yeah.
driving in from Minnesota, if you're coming in from Nebraska, if you're driving all the way from West Texas or wherever you might be, it's nice to be able to say, not only are we going to spend 2 great days at the expo, but we get to go to this fun event on
Right.
Saturday.
Right.
It gives you more benefit for
Yeah.
the call.
It's a great event. It's so much fun. And I just can't say enough about and I'll tell you, kids historically do really well to giveaways. They get to participate, help draw numbers, hand stuff out. I've never seen a kid leave this thing empty-handed. So if you have kids you're thinking about getting into rod building, bring them. They're probably going to do well with giveaways. I'd
Yeah,
be willing to bet, right? And so we talked about for the reception, you don't need all you have to do is be a rod maker subscriber, be
that's
those
right.
tickets that come in your first
Yeah,
volume in 2025. But the tickets to the show are incredibly reasonable, right? So what are prices going to be this year? Because you can
it's
usually do a one day ticket
$15.
or a 2 day ticket. Okay, so
Well, fifteen
$15 a
dollars for
day.
one day, 20 for 2 days. Which so
Yeah,
obviously that's really the better buy if you want to do
right,
that. But
right,
like I say, I go to a lot of fishing shows. I know what things
right,
cost, and we're
right.
certainly in line or cheaper than a
Cheaper.
lot of events.
It's
And
the
I just
cheapest
don't.
event I've been to. Yeah,
Well, yeah, and I just don't know anywhere else you can go and talk to this many like-minded people. We put
right.
out tables and chairs certain places in the exhibit hall, and what they're really there for is people that have been walking all day and shopping and talking, and they can kind of take a load off. But you'll walk by, and here's 5 or 6 rod builders that didn't know each other, so they
Right,
got to the show, and guys got out a pencil and paper, and they're drawing something up, or somebody's
right,
explaining how they like to do this, or talking about
right.
a rod type. This
Yeah,
is invaluable. I mean, this
yeah,
is information that you didn't necessarily come there looking for, but you got. You stumbled into
yeah,
it.
yeah. And where else
Guys
would you
make
get it? I mean, that's
friends.
that kind of informal magic I'm talking about. It's awesome, right? And
Guys
people
make
have so
friends and
many
see each
common
other every
interests.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'm sorry, go ahead. I cut you off. Start
Well,
that
I
again.
said, a lot of guys come there and they meet rod builders that they didn't know previously, and they
Right,
become friends. And they look
right.
forward to seeing each other there each year. During the year, maybe they keep up a conversation by email or phone.
Yep,
And
yep,
it's a big event. It's open to the public, and yet it's a close knit craft.
yep. It is. It is. Lots of familiar faces and always some new faces, right? And some younger faces. So if you're thinking about coming, you're thinking about bringing your kids, I'd recommend you do it. There's usually some wonderful things going on with people happy to sit down with a kid, teach them, show them. So more on that to follow, but yeah, it always happens every year. So if you're on the fence, just come on and do it, right? And in terms of transportation, obviously you can drive into Winston-Salem. You can fly into Charlotte. You can fly into
We're
High
flying to
Point,
Greensboro.
Greensboro,
It's 15,
Triad.
20
Yeah,
minutes away. Yeah.
lots of options, right? So, it really is an easy
What
place
we've
to get to,
learned, over the years, and we do have quite a number of people that fly in, obviously the ones that are coming out of California or Alaska or Canada.
right? Or internationally,
Montana. Yeah, I mean, typically they're not going to spend 3 days driving here, but
right?
75% of the robbers in the country can get to the expo within a single day's drive. and
Right.
about 60% of them can get here in less than 14 hours. And guys do like to bring their own vehicles simply because it facilitates getting merchandise back. You would be
Taking
shocked
stuff
how
home.
many
Yeah.
guys will walk out of the hall and they will have an armload of blanks, 30, 40
Oh yeah.
blanks. And
Yeah.
somebody will say, well, you're leaving? Oh, no, I'm just taking these to the hotel room. I'm coming back for more.
Right.
A lot of
Right.
guys buy their entire inventory they plan to use in the
That year.
next
Yeah.
year here at the expo. That's something else
Yeah.
to talk about. The
Yeah.
prices on items are typically better
I was
than
gonna
you
say it's
find
aggressive. Yeah.
any other time of the year.
Yeah. 100%, right? And you never know. Every year is different, but there's been a lot of years in the past when some people, depending on their logistics and whether they're going to another show or what they're doing next, decides to fire sale what they got left of their
Oh yeah,
inventory on Sunday afternoon. I mean, I've gotten some tremendous deals at this thing, and I buy wholesale, right? So for me to get a deal,
yeah.
it's but you can have access to this stuff as just a normal retail consumer. And that's another thing that doesn't happen ever anywhere, and certainly not at this scale. I mean, I'm talking about a high volume of products that you can get show specials on. So again, we're beating it to death, but it's such a great event. I look forward to it so much every year. Somehow, I don't know how you do this. You survive COVID, and we've got Steam, and they seem to be continuing to get better year over year, which is my hat's off to you, man. It's hard to do. I know it's a ton of work, and on behalf of the rod building community, I appreciate so much all you do. But if you haven't been to this thing, you gotta go, right? So if you want to see the details, it's real easy. It's called the International Custom Rod Building Exposition. You can just Google International Custom Rod Building Exposition.com, or Google that. It's ICRBE, just the acronym ICRBE.com, and get all the details, the dates, the locations. It couldn't be any easier. Literally everything you can think of has been thought of, and Tom's got it on there on the website. Tickets, you don't buy tickets until you get there, so that's super simple. Bring a bunch of cash for your deals and to be able to bring home your goodies and swag and everything else you have access to. And just if you're on the fence, if you haven't gone, there's nothing else I can say. It is the Super Bowl of custom rod building. The number of custom rods you get to look at that are there
Oh, that's
that
true.
people bring to display. Like, I always see something that inspires and motivates me that I'm like, I hadn't seen that before. I hadn't thought of that. And just that creative, uh, you know, uh, inspiration, I find very valuable person. But
Well, by the way, Mudhole is handling the International Custom Rod Challenge this year.
oh, are they this year?
Warcraft
Okay,
did it for several
excellent.
years, then American Tackle
Yep,
picked it up. Mudhole will be
yep,
bringing it this year.
yep,
Absolutely incredible
yep,
workmanship rods. So that'll be on again.
yep.
And I'm just going to mention a few things. I've made some notations as we've been talking.
Please.
You mentioned bring cash. Well, cash is king, no doubt. But most of the companies there at this point, they all
Oh,
take credit
they
cards.
take cards. Yeah.
So you can do that. And
Mhm.
as far as getting to the information, I've made it real easy for people. I bought an extra URL. It's just rodexpo.com.
Oh, okay.
And it'll
I'll
take you
check
right
it
to the
out.
event website, which is updated weekly. I should have the seminars on there sometime between now and Thanksgiving. The vendor list changes every week as we add more and more people. Got a lot
Gets
of new
bigger.
companies,
That's right. Yeah.
and I like seeing the new companies. It just adds a little something to the expo there. But if anybody has
Yep.
any, use the email on the website, shoot it to me, and I'll do my best to answer.
Yeah. And so the hours of the show are 8 to 5. Again, it's
Those
Saturday and
days.
Sunday, the 22nd and 23rd of February, 2025, MC Benton Convention Center in Winston-Salem. So, Tom, I'm looking forward to it. Appreciate so much all the work you put into making this happen every year. And looking forward to seeing you there.
Okay. Hey, Bill, can we add one more little thing?
Please go ahead.
Just
You
going
want
to
me to
mention.
ask you a question, or you just want to go?
No, I just go. I say one other
Okay.
thing you can find on the website, in addition to the list of exhibitors and seminars, is a complete list of lodging. And there's
Oh,
two
yeah.
host hotels, the Embassy Suites and the Marriott, which are actually attached to the Event and Convention Center.
Yeah.
Uh, so if there happened to be some sort of bad weather, which as warm as it seems it's been these last few winters, it might be rain. Um, but you never have to even go outside. You can get there from your hotel room. And they offer a special discount for expo attendees, which if you click on the link on the website, it takes you directly to the booking for those discounted reservations.
Perfect. Perfect. So take advantage of that, right? And move quickly because these hotels typically
Yeah.
sell out every year.
And
So,
there's plenty of other hotels in the downtown area, and we
right.
list those too. But so many people really enjoy the convenience and being able just to walk out the door of the hotel room or come through the tunnel and be right there.
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy. What's not to love, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else?
Unless you want me to go into a history of it, um, we could do that, and you could either tack it on. If you wanted to make it longer, you could tack it on to the end, or it's up to you.
Totally up to you. I feel like we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I
But we
think
can
we
add it
covered
if you
that
want
one
to.
time before.
Yeah, we covered it in detail the last time and justifying why it's there and not somewhere else and why we don't move
Yeah,
it and
yeah,
yada yada yada.
yeah.
And the history of all the other shows that have never made it and that this one's still going strong multiple decades later. Well, we belabored the point, but you get it. So Tom, again, thank you so much. I get so excited talking about this. You probably get tired of me dragging you on here to talk
Oh
about it,
no,
but
it's
thanks
fine.
so much for joining
Sure.
and really looking forward to the show. Really looking forward to the Rodmaker subscriber reception, and I'll see you soon in Winston-Salem.
Okay. See you and everybody else.
All right, excellent. And thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you tuning in. And please remember to like, subscribe, and download wherever you get your podcast content. We'll see you next time.